The Honda Passport is all new for 2026. In this video, I'll talk about what the changes are, how I feel about the interior space, and what it's like to drive it, so let's get started. Now, I don't remember when was the last time people were so hyped about a new Honda. Well, maybe besides the Type R, but that's a different story. But when the new Passport came out, people got super excited about it, and I don't blame them. I mean, it has an awesome exterior design, it no longer looks like a short Pilot, and apparently it's more off-road capable than ever. Now, some of the things Honda has changed in the new generation compared to the previous model are shorter front and rear overhangs, more rigid structure, and increased approach and departure angles. We even got new off-road TrailSport trim, which features things like all-terrain tires, heavy-duty recovery hooks, steel skid plates for the underbody protection, and a suspension that's tuned for off-road driving. So you may ask, is Honda trying to steal Toyota's customers? No, by all means, this is a no competitor to the 4Runner as it still uses the platform from the Pilot. However, if we compare it to the Pilot, the Passport has softer springs and stabilizer bars, slower steering ratio, and increased ride height, so it's not like Honda just changed the styling and called it a day. Obviously, as of suspension, we have a strut front, multi-link in the back, combined with regular passive dampers. As of engine, we only have one option, a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6, and I can't even tell you how happy it makes me. No, seriously, it's actually amazing that in 2026, Honda was able to put a naturally aspirated 6-cylinder into a new car. The engine got a 5 horsepower bump compared to the predecessor, making a total of 285 horses, and at the same time, the unit is more eco-friendly. Now, just like in the previous model, we have a 10-speed automatic transmission on board, which has slightly modified ratios, and as standard, we get a torque vectoring all-wheel drive system, which can send up to 70% of torque to the rear axle, and then 100% of that 70% to either left or right wheel. As of trims, we have 3 of them to choose from: RTL, TrailSport, and TrailSport Elite. The RTL starts at around $45,000, TrailSport starts at a little over $48,000, and with the Elite we're looking at around $53,000. Now, before we talk what it's like to drive this thing, let's take a look inside and talk about the interior space. Okay, so we're inside the new Passport. Now, looking at the dashboard design, some of that ruggedness from the exterior has been carried over, and the cabin looks just as good as the exterior does. The materials are also decent. Not breathtaking, but things that should be soft to the touch are soft. There are different textures across the cabin, and it's a massive improvement compared to the old model. Now, typically for Honda, the ergonomics are also great. You can find plenty of physical controls across the cabin that require easy access. Your drive mode selector, HVAC controls, steering wheel controls, they're all physical, and one of the best things about this design is that you get in this car and know what's where. So the overall usability is great. The doors feature a multi-tier storage. The center console is pretty amazing too. You can fit lots of things under the armrest. The cup holders are massive, and there's a dedicated spot for a phone with wireless charger. Same when you look at the trunk. It's very spacious, it has a lot of clever storage solutions, and thanks to its boxy shape, the rear cargo area is very practical, so there is nothing to complain about. Now, besides the new design, the Passport also received new technology, including an Android Automotive-based infotainment system. It has built-in Google apps, such as Google Maps for your navigation, and the interface is super easy to get around. Same with the gauge cluster. It's digital, but not overcomplicated, and it's easy to read. Now, the front seats are great. You can easily find a good seating position behind the wheel, the range of adjustments is good, and the seats themselves offer decent support and are very comfortable. They're heated by default. In the TrailSport Elite, they're also cooled. Moving to the back, the rear legroom is also massive. To say that 2 full-size adults will have no issues fitting back there is an understatement. Same with the 2 car seats. You can fit your kids in there without any issues, and the door opens pretty wide. The floor is also flat, which is always a plus. We get a 3rd zone climate control, heated outer seats, 2 USB-C charging ports, and a household power outlet, so basically all you need in your family vehicle. Obviously, as a reminder, the Passport is a 2-row vehicle. If you need 3 rows, you gotta step up to the Pilot. Overall, the cabin is a very nice place. It feels original, it's comfortable and practical, but the question is, how does the new Passport drive? Well, let's head into our favorite back road right now and check it out. Okay, so we're behind the wheel of the new Honda Passport. Now, it's an interesting vehicle to drive because it actually feels like an off-roader. I know we have that aggressive off-roadish design, all that cladding, recovery hooks, all that stuff, but Honda also calibrated the suspension, steering, and other components of this car to give you a little bit of that off-roader feeling. What do I mean? Well, the steering, for example, the ratio is very slow, and it takes a while for this car to turn, so it kind of reminds you of something like a 4Runner, like a Wrangler or a Bronco. So that's the first thing. Second off, the suspension. It's actually very smooth. It's very softly tuned. The wheel of travel is pretty big, so whenever we hit any potholes, the car is very floaty and very nice, like most off-roaders. But the biggest advantage of its ride comfort is that it's not a body-on-frame construction. It is a unibody, so there isn't that much vibration coming inside, and the overall ride quality is great. We also have a huge, big terrain tires that are softer compared to your regular compound, so they're also gonna help with that ride comfort. And if we talk about how this car drives on a daily basis, the only advantage would be road noise that comes from those all-terrain tires. The wind noise levels are actually pretty low, and it's a very comfortable vehicle to drive. Now, also the highlight of this car is the engine. Just listen to this. And Vita kicked in. It's so nice to have a V6 in a new car in 2026. Maybe it doesn't have that low-end torque that you get from those turbo piles, but I take it over any turbo 4-cylinder any day. It has very linear power delivery. It sounds actually pretty nice and works okay with the 10-speed gearbox that we have on board. I did notice some clunkiness from the transmission, especially on downshifts. When we come to a full stop, the downshift from third to second gear and then second to first can be a little rough. I don't know, it's maybe the tester that I have, maybe there's just something wrong with it. But for the most time, the powertrain behaves very well, and the only disadvantage of it is fuel economy. You're gonna feel that at the fuel pump. It averages around 16-17 miles per gallon in the city, which isn't all that great in 2026. On a highway, the best result I got was 22, so you get all that cool look, but there are also some compromises. There aren't that many compromises though when it comes to driving dynamics. We can put it into sport mode very quickly, and yeah, this car is not meant to be driven dynamically, but the torque vectoring all-wheel drive system works very well. We have a good amount of mechanical grip. There's obviously some limitations from those all-terrain tires, but I'm actually surprised in a positive way how the new Passport behaves on the road. The steering, again, it's slower, so it's not perfect, but it's not as frustrating to drive dynamically as something like a 4Runner, Land Cruiser, Wrangler. I know those cars are not true competitors to the Passport because they're true off-roaders, but I can see why some people will be cross-shopping the Passport with Land Cruiser, with 4Runner, with a Wrangler, or a Bronco. And the truth is, majority of those cars spend their life on the road, hauling family, hauling friends, going to work, to grocery stores. So in that role, the Passport is much better than all those vehicles. We also have a good technology implementation, typically for Honda: adaptive cruise control, lane centering, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring. It's also cool to see parking sensors in here. So it's a very nice car. A bit pricey, but you know what? I really like it. It's finally a non-NPC SUV from Honda. So with that, let's head into the final thoughts and summarize this thing. So let's sum up the new 2026 Honda Passport. While I really like Honda cars, their SUVs have never been really appealing to me. They feel like NPC vehicles, but that has changed with the Passport. It has an awesome exterior design, it's super comfortable and practical. It has a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6, which is basically unheard of these days, and the only downside of this SUV is fuel economy. I mean, averaging around 16-17 miles per gallon in the city and low 20s on a highway isn't all that great. But if you can take that out of the equation, you'll be very happy with the Passport. It's gonna be reliable, it's gonna meet all of your family needs, and it looks a little bit different, which is great. Some may complain it's not a body-on-frame construction, but guess what? 99% of the buyers will keep this thing on the road. Anyways, if you guys have any questions about this thing, drop a comment and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.